Hey guys, welcome to our show. My name is Frank Salas. I go by the name The Talented Mr. Salas. It's part of my duty in the Talent Tribe, which is my inner circle of online entrepreneurs that are looking to get their business on point online. And a lot of people always ask me, how do you make money online? How do you travel the world? Right now I'm in Colombia. You guys see me in the Philippines, in Mexico, traveling the United States, doing all those things. And one of the revenue streams that I have is an agency business model where I actually do the social media, SEO, content marketing, and a bunch of other different services for businesses that are already successful, that are already generating revenue. So I don't go for the solopreneurs. I go for successful businesses that already are spending money on marketing. And because they're doing that, I'm looking to show them how to get bigger returns and ROI, return on investment, by using online, digital, and social media marketing. And I know you guys hear me talk about this awesome, wonderful world of being a digital nomad and getting all these streams of revenues and making money online. But I love to bring in my fellow experts and my colleagues. And Ashley Banks is based in the UK, and he specifically focuses on the restaurant niche. And I think he's going to give you guys a lot of value in just many different ways. But I really want you to not focus on what he says, but just like from the perspective that he says. I really got introduced to him and his content by his helpful posts that he had on Facebook groups. And he was just always willing to lend and give, and always came from an abundance perspective. But what really got my attention the most was whenever he said something, it was always for the betterment of the business and the business owner. And that was something that I really aligned with. And I really wanted him to bring that to the audience. So without further ado, Ashley, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
How's it going? So I run restaurant niche marketing agency. So it's completely digital, but we do some kind of physical products. Been running the agency for over a year and 4 months. And one of our main specialties, I guess, is digital marketing. And I come from a web design and development background. And one of the niche or strategies that we've implemented into our own digital marketing is the sales funnel. And that's highly integrated into everything we do with social media and digital marketing. So basically, we give our targets or our customers, audiences, one direction that they can go down to basically increase their conversion rates. So we're not just focusing on taking control of their social media. We're actually trying to convert new people into actual customers and increase their conversion rates so we can actually get them more bookings. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
I love that. So the biggest takeaway right off the bat is that you're not just managing and handling their accounts, you're bringing them revenue. You are coming to a business owner who always needs more clients, more revenues, more sales, and you're saying, hey, I know of a way to get people to come to your restaurant and physically show up and spend money. And they like that idea, don't they?
Yeah, so that's completely our objective. So we don't approach clients and say, hey, let us just like handle your accounts or social media or whatever. It's literally, we will get you more bookings and we'll get you loyal customers. So one of our taglines on the website is, do you want to attract more loyal customers? Because our approach isn't just, get people there. We're actually part of the whole sales funnel thing is to capture their emails and do remarketing using Facebook pixels, which is like an analytics on Facebook, to be able to remarket their targeted ads back to the people that went. So say people fall off and decided not to book, we know that they're interested, and then we can later target them. So basically it's all about getting more customers, which I guess is the main aim for any business. So we call it performance driven social media strategy rather than just social media management.
I love it. I love it. So for everybody who has a restaurant right now who's listening to this, or maybe somebody has some clients that have restaurants, that own restaurants, why should restaurants be on social media and really have that channel open to market their message, but also to have that conversation with their customers?
Well, the main reason people need, any business, especially restaurants, to be on social media is just the natural growth or reach that you can kind of get. So going from the traditional PPC, Google Ads, it's completely kind of redundant now. Most people will be searching. I mean, I don't know if you know that some areas of China don't even realize that there is an internet. They think that Facebook is the internet. So they do all of their searching on Facebook. So that's one of the kind of the generation, or the next generation is literally just going to be brought up on YouTube, social, Facebook, or whatever the future kind of applications are. People aren't going to be searching. I mean, how many times do you go onto your kind of Google and search a restaurant in wherever your town is? You don't. You go onto a directory or Facebook, or it's always word of mouth. So you need to be on there. But also it's the whole virality side of social media, that if you share something, it's going to get wider exposure through natural, like, organic reach. So you don't have to actually spend too much money on ads. If you have good content and good creative, it's going to naturally get a wider reach, and that's something that we kind of promote to our clients. So it's not about just, hitting the ad button, spending £100 and hoping for the best. It's actually resonating with your audience, captivating them, and that's where you're going to get a better reach. It all comes down to psychology, and that's what social media is. And communication aspect, you need to be seen as building a community around your restaurant, and showing that you've got availability. Everyone goes onto a Facebook and comments, when are you open, or generally just does a review, and that's what people base it on. So I think there was a statistic that 80% of people base their decision on another person's opinion with Facebook. So they'll go to TripAdvisor, they'll go to Facebook, or any review site, and that's how they base this decision. And one of the things that we're implementing at the moment is Facebook AI. So we're implementing software into their bots. So one of our aims is to actually integrate booking into their Facebook Messenger. So not only can they ask questions about their availability, but people can actually say, hey, can I have a table at on Saturday at 8 o'clock? They say, yeah, we've got 6 spaces free. But it's all going to be completely automated. So one of our focuses is on kind of like modernizing and enhancing the overall customer experience for restaurants. I'm probably waffling quite on now, but
there's a lot of value that you dropped on there. Number one, the Facebook chatbots, which are relatively new over the last few months, as far as hitting mainstream, are just deadly. For me in my consulting business, they automatically generate appointments. I could easily see reservations being booked by that channel. Like you just said, there's people who don't even think the internet exists. They think the internet is one button on their iPhone, and they hit that, and now they're able to look up anything. And that's the truth, because Facebook now has a marketplace. There's a place for you to get a job. There's also places for you to check out viral content. There's going to be a new little rocket button in your timeline that you're going to see. And that's going to be a place for you to find those viral pieces of content out there. So, a lot of people who are into this type of content are really into like the tips and the strategies, and they learn from podcasts and videos, and they'll find little tips and tricks here. But what I find a lot of people don't go after or go over is like how to actually close a deal, how to actually like meet a business owner, secure their trust, get their business, and then serve them. Walk us through something like that. How does that process work like for you?
Well, that's open up a can of worms there. It all depends. I mean, it all comes down to trial and error and what would kind of work for you. First things first is you need kind of like a social proof, I guess. So you need to have all your social media up and running. So I guess a lot of people start out with that they don't really have a following, so they think that they're speaking to nothing, so they don't really post anything. But regardless of how much interaction you have, you still need to kind of have this allure that you are bigger than you kind of are. So definitely have a large social media following. Well, not the following, but keeping up to date. Have a blog, be able to create value, and also create products where you can actually give stuff away for free. So we have a free guide, like a free ebook, which we brought out at the start of the year. which is all about marketing with Instagram and Snapchat. So it gives a few techniques on how to do that. So one of the things is doing a mail campaign, sending it out to restaurants and saying, we've developed this free guide, check it out, speak to us if you want to. So then you've got your foot in the door, and then the next week later you can call them up. I've got like tracking, so I can actually see who's actually opened it and stuff. So whoever's opened it, I'll then chase them up and say, can we get some feedback on there? And then just kind of get a dialogue going. And the other avenue that I've taken is completely outsourcing telemarketing. So I have a company based on like a 3-month contract, or rolling contract, where basically I provide them data of all like a restaurants. So I've got like a large database of 3,000 to 5,000, and they do all the calling. But it's the difference between telemarketing and telesales. They're not trying to call up and saying, you need marketing. It's no hard sales. It's basically just introducing themselves so that I don't have to, and just seeing what their marketing's like and whether they would like to speak to a marketing professional. So that gets them into the door as well. So basically they'll either forward it straight to me or give them a call. And basically it's always taken a passive approach rather than like a kind of direct approach, because most people want to work with people that they've been recommended to. So it doesn't matter whether you are a specialist in restaurants, you need to prove like your value. And the absolute best way of doing that is giving stuff away for free, even doing some spec work to build it up. So one of our first projects was completely speculative. We just basically had a list of local restaurants, put a finger in the middle and said, right, let's build them a website. Built it, send it to them and said, built your website. Do you want it for free? And they're like, yeah, okay. So now you got something to show them. And I guess it's just completely trial and error. Give something for value. I think Gary Vaynerchuk is like the best at putting it up. How you should enter a meeting, not for what you want, but what they want. That's how we approach everything. So we give them value, and then let them make the decision, because ultimately, what we find as well with restaurants is, because it's low budget and they're budget conscious, they want to do everything themselves. So you kind of need to convince them that they don't need help, but how they can benefit. And one of the ways I always say is, how much do you value your time? Because if you're spending 2 hours a day on social media, what could you be doing? And my mentor actually said to me, think of it this way: what are you good at, and focus on it. Because my weakness is telesales. I mean, I hate, as everyone probably does, is doing cold calling. So I completely outsource it, so I don't have to worry about that. So I say to him, you're good at running your restaurant, thinking of the ideas. You are your restaurant. You're the story behind it. Why don't you're obviously not very good at, some people we speak to haven't posted for 4 months. It's like, why? And I say, well, we haven't got the time. And I said, well, exactly. That's why you need to invest in someone to kind of handle everything for you. So one of the things I always say is a marketing department, like external marketing like us, is cheaper than an employee. And after tax PAYE, which you have in the UK, national insurance, our services will always be cheaper than an employee. Now, putting the burden on an already existing employee, like a waitress or waiter, that's adding on top of their responsibilities, which is probably outside their skill set. But also, if you want to afford our services, like if you were to hire an actual internal marketer, they would be a lot more expensive, because they would have to be there full time. And so it's kind of just giving them a proposition of how to perceive yourself as valuable to them. Through various forms. So whether that's calling them, emailing them, and see.
I love it. So a few takeaways is that you have different ways to attract people. And one of the ways that I'm seeing a common theme is that you're practicing attraction, marketing, and inbound lead generation. You're going to the marketplace and you're saying, hey, I know there's a lot of people saying a lot of things, but what I'm doing is I'm going to give you guys my expertise, lend you my experience. I'm going to show you stuff that's worked for myself and my clients or the people around me, and here's some value. And business owners, specifically in your niche, because you're very well niched down to restaurant owners, they're like, hey, this is really relevant content for me and somebody like my friends and my circle. I'm going to like this. I'm going to share this. I may even inquire. I may sign up on your list. And now they're getting into your sales tunnel, because you don't do a sales funnel. You do a sales tunnel. And now you're directing them to, buy your products or work with you in some type of services. So that was the biggest takeaway that I found from your entire operations. And then, like you said, you don't really like telecom sales, so you kind of outsource that. You get some leads from there. So now you're adding multiple marketing methods to your lead generation strategy, which is something that I really like. So a lot of people try to find one button, push it nonstop. Like maybe they are using Facebook ads, like you mentioned. Well, let's say Mark Zuckerberg's like, you know what? We're no longer giving you guys Facebook ads. What's going to happen to your leads? How are you going to generate more business? So I like that you have multiple efforts out there. Now let's switch our focus to working with actual restaurant owners. So when you have a restaurant owner client, you've secured the deal, you're working with them. What's kind of like your thought process once you land a new restaurant owner client?
How do you mean? Well,
yeah, so like whenever you start serving somebody, they're like, hey, help me. I want more marketing. I want more customers. I want more results. What's kind of like your thought process? What do you look at first? Walk us through that.
Right. So yeah. Okay. Well, it always starts with obviously the initial consultation, working out, understanding their business. So every restaurant and every business in general is completely different. So one, like you may have like a tea room or something, which we have in England, where you have like traditional English tea. So it's like a free stack thing with like sandwiches and scones and stuff. Like that's going to cater to a smaller market. It may even be older people. However, they may not be on Facebook. So we need to try and work out how to kind of, target them. So really it all comes down to, their actual style of restaurant, I guess. So someone taking a steakhouse example, or like a grill, it's probably going to be more male like dominated, and so what we do is work out how we can actually get to their audience. So what we do is audit it, and kind of, it's a hard one to kind of answer. So it all comes down to that we say to them, it's all about trial and error. We need to understand what content works. So it's all about just doing something and then adjusting it and then refining it and then repeating it. So trying to think of an example. Go back to the steakhouse. What we do is we'll research kind of like their competitors. If they've like, we've got a new client, they're a steakhouse, and they haven't got any social media or anything like that. We'll search their competitors, look at the posts that have the most traction, and we'll see who engages with it the most. And one of the things we found with like a steakhouse or like burger, fries, the whole like kind of American-y style themed restaurant, people's girlfriends are more likely to engage with the content because they'll tag their boyfriend and tell them about it. Whereas a male probably isn't more likely to kind of engage with the content. So taking that understanding of how people are interacting, so it's all the girlfriends, we can work out if we need to target ads at the to reach the girlfriends, or whether we need to reach like kind of the men. So we approach the client and say, look, we need to do some trial and error, work out the best way to actually sort of kind of narrow it down to maybe 3 or 4 styles of content, and then just kind of go from there. I mean, really, it's all about auditing what they've currently got and then developing a strategy, but making them understand that, we need to refine the strategy as we go on, and it's completely experimental. And once, what we do is actually we build up data sets. So we have a complete Excel sheet of all the types of content, how many people are liking it, what time of day, and that stuff. And then we can actually narrow it down and provide them more successful strategy in the future. So yeah, we can't really approach them and say, look, this is going to work. It's got to be completely, experimental.
I love that. So there's so many takeaways that I had from that. I don't want to break that down just in case anybody missed that. So first and foremost, you take a look at their end user. So like for example, in that tea and scones place, which sounds pretty awesome. I've never had like tea and scones like that, so I'd be down to check that place out. But yeah, you're right. Maybe that demographic might not be in Facebook. In America, over 60 is the fastest growing population on Facebook. But in the UK, that might be completely the opposite. So it's all about what's going on locally, and every individual business is different. It's an individual campaign. That's why they pay us so much, is because this isn't a plug-and-play system. We have our core fundamental marketing principles, our theories, and our proven tactics and our strategies that work. But it's kind of like almost being a doctor. Your business is kind of hurt or sick, and you got to prescribe it different strategies and different medicines to be able to get successful, to get to that next place. So I like that you look at their target customer first. Then you let your customer know, hey, or you let your client know, hey, we're going to get some more customers your way, but we got to figure this whole thing out. And like you said earlier, you're a lot less than an in-house employee, so you start to figure out their business. You got to figure out their goals, their brand, what everything they have going on in-house looks like. Then you've got to make a campaign that meets their branding, that meets their marketing message, deliver that to the right people, and then you're going to get data. So that data is then going to help you as a marketer educate your customer and say, hey, we put this message out there, and these people really responded, and this is how far down our tunnel that they went. So now you're reporting to them, and you're providing more value. And what I really like about entrepreneurs, specifically in the agent model, when you do that and you report to your client, now they know why they're paying you. They're like, oh yeah, this is why I'm paying you this monthly retainer that's kind of high. You know, you're probably my biggest freelancer, my biggest contractor that I'm working with on a monthly basis. So it's always great to remind your business owner why they're making that payment, and then just kind of experimenting, collecting data. And if you can't measure it, you can't scale it. So I really like your core operations and everything you got going. So let's jump into some golden nuggets. So a lot of people, talk about giving out golden nuggets. I like to do diamonds, man. So I'm going to get some diamonds out of you. So when you're working with a restaurant, what are just some like bread and butter marketing tactics that for the most part would be very, very successful?
Well, you mentioned it earlier. So the sales tunnel. So our sales tunnel is a few steps to it, really. So say we've got Mother's Day. You have Mother's Day in the US?
Yeah, we got moms.
So what I want to do is like a drip feed effect. So we have a golden ratio. So it's like 60% we follow creative, 30% curated, and 10% promoted. So we really narrow down promoted, basically because we don't want to keep spamming people. So what we do is around maybe 5 to 4 weeks before like a Mother's Day event, we start drip feeding like articles with like surrounding Mother's Day or maybe Valentine's Day, like best gifts to give to your partner or something like that. And then we maybe even do our own blog or a bit of content around it. And then we share it, so that'll be curated. So all the way along, we're drip feeding our audience to let them know that kind of an event is coming along. And then that's when we start, once we've got them I guess subconsciously thinking about Mother's Day, we then start promoting. So our promoted content will then be surrounded with our sales funnel. So the sales funnel, or tunnel that we like to call it, is basically a completely scaled down version of their website, and it will be completely encompass their entire event. So what we do with them is, whether they've got like previous kind of like video footage or like imagery from the last event, we just completely like create an atmosphere of what people can expect. And then so the website, you got two options. Once we've pushed them to it, they can either go back or go forward, and that's so it's all around basically getting them to kind of book. Sorry, I'm losing my complete train of thought. We've got too much going on in your head.
Yeah. Dude, so this is great. You're kind of going a little deep down the rabbit hole, and I want to make sure everybody's still with us. So basically what you're doing is you're driving traffic to the business online, and you're taking them to a super simple landing page, or there's no about us, there's no our menu, there's nothing like this. It's just like, hey, if you want to do business with us, go down this place. There's no option. There's no door number A, door number B. They're just like this way or the highway. And if they take the highway, you now, because you successfully generated that lead and you have a retargeting campaign, you're now able to follow those people around and say, hey, you showed some interest in our restaurant, and now here's a really special offer. Earlier we were offering you like 2-for-1 steaks. Now we're doing 3-for-1. We really want to earn your business. And if they click on that and they still don't go through, and now you know that because your marketing or remarketing is very sophisticated, now you can say, we didn't get you with the 2-for-1. We didn't get you for the 3-for-1, but we want to give you a one-time offer of the 4-for-1 steaks on Tuesdays or something like that. And now that person's like, 4-for-1 steaks, that's an irresistible offer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to book. And that gives the business owner and the restaurant an opportunity to land a new client to get there. And then that's kind of where, like you said, you're kind of like, where do I go from here? Because then you have a million ways to go. You can market to them on email, on their phone number. You can send them direct mail. You can follow them up on their Google browser, on their Amazon browser, on their YouTube browser, on their Facebook browser, on Twitter, on Pinterest. There's just a million ways that you can go after them. And it's just like so vast, the opportunity that we have. So I thought that was an excellent breakdown. We're getting a lot of questions here in our live stream. We're live streaming on some Periscope about pricing. So I know you're in the UK, so it's a little bit different. But I want to wrap up this interview with some realistic numbers. Like how much, if somebody wants to do this, how much could you charge restaurants and businesses to handle these types of things for them?
So we've got like a 3-tier system. So we've got a basic one, which is £500. So that's probably like $700, I guess. So that's 2 accounts. So we have a Facebook and either an Instagram or Twitter, completely dependent on what we work out in the strategy. They have their basic strategy, and it's either like 2 to 3 posts a day on each one. So it's very basic work. So the way we price stuff isn't based on kind of, I saw a comment in one of the social groups where he said, we need to work out how much they earn a year and work out how much they should be spending on marketing. We base it on the value we can provide and how much we actually spend. So like £500, breaking it down, is probably like 4 to 6 hours work over a month. So we could stretch maybe an hour and a half every week dedicated to their work. And that's the basic package. So you're going to get what you get with that. Our optimal package is, I believe, about £1,300. So that's probably like $1,600. So that would include a website like maintenance, blog creations. So a lot more involved, I guess. But also the sales funnel stuff, all dependent on what they want to do. So we can treat it as completely like a bespoke website, which we can just edit every time they have a different thing, like event. And the pricing around that is all our websites, depending on what they are, start at least £1,000. So a sales funnel could cost £1,000, and then basically, depending whether they use their retainer or not, we can fit it into the price to make any adjustments and work it around there. So yeah, our retainers look at anywhere between £500 and £1,500. And then we have an optimal package, which is £3,000 a month, where it's basically a complete dedicated marketing department.
And that's super affordable. A lot of people who maybe have like that little, that unconfidence or that like anxiety of being able to go up to a business and ask them for $3,000 a month. $3,000 a month to have your marketing done by professionals is a steal. That's like, a little bit less than 50 grand per year, and a little bit less than 40 grand per year here in America, at least, and over there in the UK. And most marketing professionals are going to cost you about 6 figures if you had them full time on your staff. Then you got to pay unemployment insurance. Then you got to pay taxes. And then we have Obama up here over here in America. I don't know what kind of crazy, taxes and fees you have, but everybody has their little taxes and stuff there. So it's super affordable, and those rates are doable. And just to confirm, those rates are every single month, $500 to $3,000 every single month.
Yep.
That's
so what we do as well is to kind of get them on board is we have like a 3-month kind of minimum requirement, but we'll give them a month free. So basically they get 4 months for the first 3 months that they sign up to us. So essentially they just get 1 month free, which is kind of like a hook to get them in. But yeah, other than that, it's monthly 500 to 1500.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and that's a great closing strategy right there. Just to offer them some free service. Say, hey, look, we believe in ourselves. We know this is going to work. We'd like to get you an extra deal to make this work, and go from there. So we actually have some people on the UK right now who are in the restaurant niche who are joining us live on Periscope. Mr. Diverse21 wants to know your name and where we can find you.
Okay, come and find me. My name's Ashley Banks, and where do you want to find me? Do you mean like my website?
Yeah, your website or online, any of your blogs, all your social handles?
Yeah, so you can find my company website, which is 96milesmedia.com. So that's 96, actually as the number, milesmedia.com. We're based in Essex, England.
Awesome, awesome. They want your Snapchat. They want to know if you're on Snapchat.
I do have a Snapchat, but I generally don't use it too much.
Awesome, awesome. Perfect, perfect. Well, hey, thank you so much for sharing your business, the ins and outs. You're a true professional. Keep sharing all the awesome things that you do in the communities that we're a part of. I definitely love what you're doing, and thank you for helping me serve my tribe. Guys, that was Ashley Banks out in the UK. Make sure you go to his websites and follow him at all his social media channels. And my name is Frank Salas. I go by the name The Talented Mr. Salas. I'm the founder of the Talent Tribe, and if you like interviews like this, go ahead and go to bit.ly/talented one, or go to Facebook and look for the private Facebook group, The Talent Tribe, and that's my inner circle where I bring you experts in the industry, just like my boy Ashley out in the UK. Ashley, thanks a lot for being here. We really appreciate it.
No worries. Cheers, mate.